What was your "I'm dating married to an idiot" moment? Point 1. Girl I was dating was making nachos and shredding cheese. She cuts herself and blood gets on the cheese and the shredder. As she gets a Band-Aid, I pick up the cheese, and as I'm throwing it away, she freaks out as now I may have AIDS. Like what? She's hard freaking out that I just got exposed to AIDS and I needed to get medical attention. After talking, it turns out she thought AIDS was everywhere. Like any blood outside the body could just magically get it. Her stupidity was a relief that night. 2. We served in the U.S. Peace Corps together in Uganda. One day, it was really sunny out, like we lived within 50 miles of the equator sunny. She says, "The moon is going to be really bright tonight." I asked what she meant, and she said since it's so sunny, the moon is absorbing all the light and will illuminate brighter when it's dark. We argued about this and ended up talking to her mother on the phone. She confirmed her daughter's hypothesis. 3. This one is a bit obscure, but when you go to a hotel to check in, you tell them your full name or at least your last name so they can look you up. The guy I was dating at the time and I had booked a hotel somewhere, and we got there. They asked his name. He only gave them his first name, which is generic. "What's your full name?" Again, gives them just his first name. "Sir, we need your full name to look you up." "Yeah, but the reservation is under my name." I had to intervene and tell him they needed his last name because there could be many guests by his first name. I was so shocked. This was not common sense to him. 4. My ex thought wind turbines spun because they were powered by electricity. She has since got a degree, and I don't have one, so I'm not sure what that makes me. 5. My partner was grunting and groaning at the bin. He said, "We need new bin bags. These ones you've bought don't bloody fit." Went over to see what was going on, and he had a roll of small black dog poo bags in his hand, with one unfurled, trying to work out why it wouldn't fit in the bin. There were bin bags. He just picked up the wrong roll, and instead of realizing, tried to get a dog poop bag in a bin 50 times bigger. 6. One day, my then fiance was very angry with me without warning and started harassing me over, "What are you going to do? How are you going to pay for our wedding? How?" Basically accusing me of being broke or having no financial plan. After a whole day of me wondering what the heck is going on, she finally went through the numbers. According to this wedding magazine she borrowed from her friends, the average cost of a 200-guest wedding in Tokyo was $80,000 or so. And I did not have that kind of money, like, at all. And then I had to literally sit her down and use pen paper to prove how much our wedding is costing, since I insisted it won't be as much. How much is the venue ceremony rentals? $2,500. How much is the meal going to cost per guest at the hotel restaurant? $50 to $70. And how much are the hotel rooms we're paying for? $150 night. And how many people are attending the wedding? 13. All said and done, our whole wedding was going to be about $4,500 to $5,000, and we knew this. But after reading one magazine article about mega weddings in Tokyo, my fiancée convinced herself that ours had to cost that much too. Spent nearly 2 days stewing and angry with me before even explaining this was the reason for her hostility. She was easily influenced by anything. Friends' comments, overhearing old ladies' conversations on the train, clickbait news online, etc. And no, I did not go through with the wedding. Took me a long time to admit that her stupidity isn't a charm point, but weaponized incompetence by an abuser. 7. My now ex-husband legitimately thought that having a hysterectomy meant that your vagina was removed. I learned this when he asked me how women who had a hysterectomy were able to pee. Further discussion led to the realization that he thought that a hysterectomy resulted in a nice, smooth Barbie-like bump down there. 8. He thought potatoes never go bad because his mom always kept a bag in the pantry. I asked him if they ate a lot of potatoes, and he said yes. They have a large family with 6 kids, and it still didn't click. 9. Love my wife, but South Dakota is not north of North Dakota. Would be funny if it was, though. 10. My wife went to the store to get cilantro for our tacos. She came home with parsley. Easy mistake. They look similar if you don't look closely enough. I told her she bought parsley. She was convinced it was cilantro. I had her taste it. I showed her the tag on the bundle that said parsley. She reluctantly went back to the store to get cilantro. She came home with another bundle of parsley. I love this woman, but at this moment, I was questioning everything about her problem-solving skills. The good news is, she has never brought home parsley again. 11. My husband was feeling unwell and began Googling his symptoms. After a while of silence, he suddenly turns to me in a panic and says, "I think I have preeclampsia." 12. I dated a guy in college who visited me in my rural hometown and asked what the animals in the neighbor's field were. I said, "Cows," in a "you must be shitting me" level of disbelief. He proceeded to tell me they can't be cows because cows are black and white, and these animals were all brown. I had to pull up Google to prove to him that brown cows existed. I could maybe understand if he'd been from a city, but he told me he was from a rural suburb, not a city, so I guess he was just an idiot. 13. My boyfriend refused to eat basil I had bought from the grocery store because it was a full plant. I was keeping it outside, and he insisted that he would not eat dirty food. I asked where he thought farmers kept produce, and he said that they has special areas for food to grow that was sterilized, but my plant was not food grade. I just looked at him with a dumbfounded look. I didn't know how to respond. 14. While we were moving, my ex-wife asked me who we needed to contact to change our email address. 15. Ex-wife complained Apple Pay wouldn't work, link or whatever. I suggested she contact Apple support or go down to the Apple store. Kept refusing to go to the store, saying she'd call customer support and go from there. One day, while at work, she texts me asking where to get iTunes gift cards. Already a red flag. Why do you need those? I ask. She stated to me that Apple support is requesting the codes so they can verify funds. I told her it's a bad idea, it's a scam, and to just go to the Apple store. An argument broke out, and nothing was discussed further. I get home that night and notice eight $100 iTunes gift card holders in the kitchen. I ask her if she sent the codes to anyone, in which another argument broke out. She said she posted in an Apple support thread, and an anonymous user replied to her telling her to call this number, obviously unaffiliated with Apple. Some say her Apple Pay still doesn't connect to this day.